Everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of TechPods by M.A.C Solutions. This episode is in collaboration with HMS Networks, and today we have Fabio from the HMS Networks. He is responsible for the Anybus Diagnostics brand within HMS. Welcome, Fabio. So glad to have you here.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Absolutely. It's for our audience that Anybus Diagnostics is the latest addition to the HMS family, so it's going to be an exciting one to understand what this brand is really all about and what's the way forward from here. Fabio, so first thing first, can you give us a little background on the Anybus Diagnostics?
Yes, of course. So Anybus Diagnostics is bought out of Procentec, which was a Dutch company that started the business about 25 years ago. We recently became part of the HMS family, and we've been operating into the industrial networks. So we provided, basically we started as a test lab, one of the 9 only test labs we have in the world, and then we decided to provide diagnostics for those networks because we saw that companies were struggling with the troubleshooting of those protocols. So we wanted to help them maintain the networks in an easier way. That's what we wanted to do, and I can say that we made a huge step from when we started.
That's lovely to hear, of course, about the whole background which Anybus Diagnostics have. It's pretty rich, to be honest. So, talking about the challenges, can you pinpoint some of the key challenges which Anybus Diagnostics caters to and how does it solve them?
Yes, of course. In time, as I said, we started as a test lab. We realized that companies were struggling a lot to understand the issues they had on the networks, what was happening on the network. So, of course, the troubleshooting process was hard and long. So, what we wanted to provide was tools that would allow them to reduce the time needed for troubleshooting to make the process more efficient. And then in time, we decided to evolve into permanent monitoring because we realized that the focus was in avoiding downtime at all costs. And you can do that only with permanent monitoring, which is what we now can provide and basically provide the information they need to understand and fix the problem they're facing in the networks.
Can you talk more about the solutions which are there within the Anybus Diagnostic range?
Yes, of course. So as I said, we started as a test lab, but the first very product that we focused on was the hubs, which provide segmentation. So initially, we wanted to make sure that the networks would have a better and more reliable design. So with the Profi hubs, we could deliver that. After that, we wanted to focus on diagnostics. So we came out with portable tools, and then afterward, we focused on permanent diagnostics because we saw that was where companies were really struggling. Together with that, of course, we didn't want just to be a company that would push for products. We wanted to make sure that our companies that work with us were independent and able to troubleshoot. And you can only do that with the right knowledge. So we also provide certified trainings because we're part of PI, so we can provide certified trainings on Profibus and Profinet. And we also provide technical support, audits, and of course, training on the products that we provide. So we want to make sure that when a company installs a solution, they also can use them at the maximum effect.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, it's all about permanent monitoring. There's diagnostics within itself, and also you have your own resources of training which you provide to ensure that the people you are tying up with your customers, they are basically strengthening their own knowledge base as well to really use the solution.
Yes, exactly. So we noticed there is more and more a shortage of experienced engineers, either because they moved up into their career, they became manager, or because they moved from one company to another. So we want to ensure that the new engineers coming, they have a proper training, they can walk on their own feet, so to speak. So, and you can do that at first by training, and once you have that and you have the right tools, then you can determine the issue that you have, and you can face them and make sure that the network is working properly. You can identify weaknesses, and we provide support also in that. Many companies, they ask us not just to sell a product, but also to determine, to get with them, what is the most critical part of the network that need to be addressed.
Fabio, in your experience, all this time with the whole Anybus Diagnostic range, what are the major reservations which are there in the industry, and how do you go about it? How do you handle these objections, and what do you recommend on that?
Well, to be fair, the old school of troubleshooting was let's just hope for the best and let's hope that nothing happens, and if it happens then we'll figure it out. So it was all about reactive maintenance, and well, it wasn't a really nice approach for them because they didn't use to allocate a lot of budget in data communication and diagnostics, so they didn't see much value in those type of products or solutions. Luckily nowadays they are more focused on reducing downtime. They want to maximize performances in the plants, and they can only do that by adopting permanent monitoring. So now it's basically the common discussion is why do you have an insurance on your car? You use the car daily, you pay for the insurance, but you always hope that you never crash it, but you still have the insurance. It's the same way. You have diagnostic tools because they will help you to avoid downtime by giving you preventive maintenance. So if you can see a degradation and reduce that downtime, all the production loss that you would have encountered, you can avoid that. And so they can see a return of investment in a really short time. And well, with this in mind, and of course it's not a waste of money anymore, but it's an investment to increase those performances and get a return in a really little time.
That's a great analogy, to be honest. The car insurance one, which is true, to be honest. You do get an insurance, nevertheless, even if you do hope that you don't have to use it,
Yeah.
but it's a safety cover which you have. Similarly, in this case, if you already make an investment right from the very beginning, you're being proactive, then in the hindsight you'll realize that you have actually saved so much because you were always up. There were no downtimes there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the addition that it's like having an insurance that will also help you avoid a car crash. So it has this double advantage. And luckily, companies now they really started to understand that, and they're adopting permanent monitoring. They finally the analysis that we put out in the market they start to make sense to everybody, and they're coming back to apply these solutions.
That's really good to know that the realization is there across the industry. The importance of being proactive is really widely accepted, and people are taking measures to get there. Talking about users here, would you like to talk about any success story which really comes in your head? Okay, this was a great instance where Anybus Diagnostics products were really into use and it really helped the customer out there.
Yeah, of course. If I can be cheesy, I would like to quote an army general, I don't remember the name, that said in an interview, the best victories are the ones that comes out of battles that you never fought. And with this in mind, I always tell my clients that the best advantage you can have is to have a device that will help you avoid downtime rather than have a faster troubleshooting process. So that's what we do with permanent monitoring. Now, if I have to think about the story, we had this company, it was in the water treatment, and every month they had about 7 hours of downtime for them, and they couldn't figure out. They called us a couple of times, but it was a random issue. So by the time we got there and we started measurement, there was nothing there because the network was starting to work again, has been reset, so there was nothing to measure there. So we told them, hey, how about you install the Combrix on this part of the network so we can monitor that. After probably a day, the problem happened again. It was in the middle of the night. But with the Combrix, they managed to detect that. It was stored into the memory of the Combrix, so we could do a retrospective analysis, like a black box of a plane. So we would be able to identify what was the source of the problem. It was actually a broken shielding into a cable that every now and then would create a short circuit, and they couldn't figure it out. With that with that type of information, we could pinpoint what was the source of the problem. They changed the cable. After that, they never had any problem at all. And then step by step, they decided to cover the entirety of the network with our product and never called us back again, luckily.
Last thing, Fabio, I'm looking ahead in the future now. How is Anybus Diagnostics evolving as a product range to meet the future demands?
Well, first of all, now that we're part of HMS, we can offer a wider range of solutions. So we're not just focused on diagnostics, but we can provide our clients with a full range of connectivity modules to gap the bridge between different protocols. We can provide the connectivity, and we can provide remote access together with the online support. So everything that our clients might need, it's there. Together with this, we also have a new AI feature that is included now with our solutions. And we talked earlier about the shortage of experienced engineers. With this in mind, we wanted to create a solution that will help even fresh engineers that haven't received training yet to determine what the problem might be. So with Snap, what we do is we analyze the network, we compare it with our artificial intelligence, with a database, and we determine what is the most likely status of your network, whether it could be a missing termination, a broken wire. The system will tell you with a really high accuracy what that problem might be, and not only, it will also tell you how to fix that. That means that even someone that has just started working on a protocol that's not familiar with that can follow the instruction, can follow the indication, and can fix the problem in a matter of minutes. So it means that they can be as independent as they want, even from the start. So that's what we aim to do, and we want to expand that in the future with an eye on OT security. Many companies are more and more concerned about that topic, and we want to make sure to be there for them.
I mean that's great. I mean, so basically we already have started to be a one-stop solution, which is there, you know.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we are also looking forward to empowering engineers out there, for them to be more self-independent, basically. So that's the way forward we're going about this whole.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because the main struggle of a company when you're looking for a product or a solution is that if you don't find all you need from a single store, then you have to look out in different branches, and sometimes the integration of different products, it's not seamless. But if you can find all the solution from the same provider, same supplier, you know that those devices will communicate without any issue, and then you know you can trust the solution as a whole package.
No, absolutely. I mean, this really looks promising, to be honest, and we look forward to learning more and more about it. But yep, that's all the questions which I have for you today, Fabio. And it was lovely having you here, of course.
It was a pleasure being your host.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions which you have for us, please send us in, and me and Fabio, we both can probably answer them and get back to you on that. So thank you so much for watching TechPods by M.A.C Solutions, and yep, see you soon.
Yeah, have a